Ever wondered who the silent workers in your garden are, making sure your plants bloom beautifully each season? Welcome to the intriguing world of garden pollinators, the unseen heroes that ensure your garden thrives and looks its best. These are the tireless creatures and sometimes forces that transfer pollen from the male parts of a flower to the female parts, fertilizing the plant and making possible those beautiful blooms that we all love. Let's start with the most recognized of all pollinators, the bees. These little buzzing wonders are nature's prime pollinators. They are attracted to bright colors and sweet nectar, and as they move from flower to flower, they unknowingly carry pollen on their bodies, aiding in the fertilization process. Next up, we have butterflies. These creatures, with their stunning wings and graceful flight, are not just a delight to watch, but they also play an important role in pollination. Like bees, they are drawn to vibrant flowers where they feed on nectar, and in the process, help in pollen transfer. Birds, particularly hummingbirds, are another set of pollinators. With their long beaks and even longer tongues, they reach deep into flowers for nectar, and in doing so, get dusted with pollen, which they then transport to other flowers. Even bats have a role to play. These nocturnal creatures feed on the nectar of night-blooming plants. And in the process, they too transport pollen. And let's not forget the wind, which, though not a living creature, is a significant pollinator. It catches and carries lightweight pollen, often over significant distances, depositing it on other plants. Each of these pollinators, whether they be buzzing bees, fluttering butterflies, darting birds, elusive bats, or even the unseen wind, plays a vital role in the cycle of life in your garden. Without them, your plants would not be able to reproduce and your garden would not be the vibrant, lively place that it is. So next time you admire a blooming flower, remember the unseen heroes, the garden pollinators. Now that we know who the pollinators are, let's delve into how they do what they do. Pollination, in its simplest form, is the act of transferring pollen grains from the male anther of a flower to the female stigma. It's a crucial step in the reproduction of flowering plants, but how does this process actually work? Well, it's an intricate dance between nature and science, and it all starts with a visit from our friendly pollinator. As a pollinator, like a bee or a butterfly, lands on a flower, it's usually in search of nectar or pollen. These visitors unknowingly collect pollen on their bodies as they move around the flower. When the pollinator flits off to the next flower, some of this pollen rubs off onto the stigma, the female part of the flower. This is the first step in a complex process that could potentially lead to the production of a fruit or a seed. But it's not just any pollen that can fertilize a flower. It has to be from the same species. It's a bit like a lock and key mechanism, where the pollen grain, the key, has to match the stigma, the lock, for fertilization to occur. If the match is right, the pollen grain will germinate, sending a pollen tube down into the flower's ovary, where fertilization takes place.
Bokeh Smoothie Greens is a blend of organic grasses, superfoods, B vitamins, and botanical extracts designed to fuel the body with broad-spectrum nutrients for optimal mental and physical functionality. This whole food blend empowers the body through fruits and vegetables, organic grasses, adaptogens, immune-boosting herbs, plant extracts, and enzymes. With Bokeh Smoothie Greens, you can quickly supercharge what the best nature has to offer.
While it might seem like a simple task, this process is vital for the survival of our planet's plant life. Without pollination, we wouldn't have the vast biodiversity of plants that we see today. It's also crucial for our food production. Imagine a world without fruits, vegetables, or nuts. That's a world without pollinators and pollination. So the next time you see a bee buzzing around your garden or a butterfly flitting from flower to flower, take a moment to appreciate the monumental task they are undertaking. They're not just collecting food, they're helping to maintain and propagate life on Earth. From a simple flower visit, pollinators set in motion the miraculous process of plant reproduction. We often hear of bees and butterflies as the primary pollinators, but is that the whole truth? Let's delve into some common misconceptions and unveil the unsung heroes of pollination. First off, let's tackle the belief that only bees and butterflies are capable of pollination. Yes, they are indeed crucial players in the game, but the field is much more diverse than we often imagine. The nocturnal world of moths, for instance, is one that we seldom associate with pollination. Yet, these humble creatures are vital pollinators of a variety of plants, including several species of orchids that bloom only at night. Next, we come to the often overlooked beetles. Known as the mess and soil pollinators, these hardworking critters have been doing their job since the time of the dinosaurs. They might not have the finesse of bees or the charm of butterflies, but they do play a pivotal role in pollinating ancient plant species. And then there are flies. Yes, you heard it right. Those pesky flies that you often swat away are crucial pollinators too. While they might not be the first creature that comes to mind when you think of pollination, certain types of flies are essential for pollinating a variety of plants, including the cocoa plant. That's right, without flies, we wouldn't have chocolate. Finally, let's not forget our feathered friends. Birds, especially hummingbirds and honeyeaters, are among the most efficient pollinators. Their long beaks and high energy levels make them perfect for reaching into the deepest flowers, ensuring the plant's survival and proliferation. So, as you can see, the world of pollinators is much more diverse and complex than we often give it credit for. Each participant, from the tiny moth to the bustling beetle, from the nuisance fly to the agile bird, has a unique role to play in this intricate ballet of nature. So the next time you enjoy a bite of your favorite chocolate or marvel at a beautiful orchid, remember, every creature, no matter how small, plays a significant role in the intricate dance of nature. Ready for some surprising revelations about these tireless workers? Let's dive into the fascinating world of pollinators. Many people think of bees when they hear pollinators, but in reality, the pollinator club is a lot more diverse. There are over 200,000 species of pollinators on our planet, and they include birds, bats, butterflies, beetles, and even some mammals and reptiles. Each of these species has evolved and adapted to play a crucial role in our ecosystem. Now let's talk about some unique abilities of our pollinator friends. Did you know that bees can recognize human faces? Yes, you heard it right. It's a skill they've developed to remember where the best flowers are. They can also understand the concept of zero, making them one of the few creatures outside of humans to possess this ability. And it's not just bees that are extraordinary. Moths, for example, have an incredible sense of smell. Some species can detect a single molecule of a female moth's pheromones from up to 7 miles away. That's like being able to smell a single grain of sugar in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. However, these amazing creatures face significant challenges. Climate change, habitat loss, and the use of pesticides are putting pollinators at risk. For instance, the rusty patch bumblebee, once a common sight across North America, is now on the brink of extinction. But these challenges also bring out the resilience in pollinators. Monarch butterflies, for instance, undertake an epic 2,000-mile journey from Canada to Mexico, navigating through all sorts of weather and obstacles, just to find a warm place to spend the winter. These facts underline the extraordinary abilities of pollinators and the crucial role they play in our ecosystem. They're not just insects buzzing around your garden. They're tireless workers, mathematicians, navigators, and survival experts. They make our world more colorful and ensure that we have food on our table. Pollinators truly are nature's marvels, aren't they? Our garden's prosperity depends on these pollinators. But what can we do to ensure their survival? Pollinators are the unsung heroes of our gardens and our world, tirelessly working to keep the cycle of life turning. Sadly, these hardworking creatures are under threat. Habitat loss, climate change, disease, and exposure to harmful pesticides are just a few of the challenges they face daily. But here's the thing, we can make a difference. Yes, we can. It's crucial to understand that protecting pollinators is not just about safeguarding our gardens, it's about preserving the balance of our entire ecosystem. You see, pollinators play a key role in the food we eat, the air we breathe, and the world we live in. They are responsible for aiding over 80% of the world's flowering plants. Without them, our everyday food supply would look very different, and not in a good way. So, how can we help? Well, there are several ways. One simple yet effective method is by planting a pollinator-friendly garden. This means choosing plants that provide nectar and pollen, like wildflowers, old-fashioned varieties of flowers, and native plants. It's like setting up a buffet for our buzzing buddies. Avoiding harmful pesticides is another way to help. These chemicals can be lethal to pollinators, so consider natural alternatives. Encourage beneficial insects that prey on pests, or use organic, pollinator-safe pesticides. Creating habitats for pollinators can also make a huge difference. Consider leaving a patch of your garden wild, with logs, twigs, and bare ground for insects to nest. And don't forget about water. A shallow dish filled with pebbles and water can make a perfect watering hole for thirsty pollinators. We all have a role to play in protecting our pollinators. It's not just about the buzzing bees, the fluttering butterflies, or the hovering hummingbirds. It's about us, our future, and the future of our planet. By safeguarding our pollinators, we're not just protecting our gardens, but also the balance of our entire ecosystem.
Often called the mushroom of the gods, lion's mane has a long history of medicinal use. This popular nootropic has been shown to enhance focus and increase cognition, helping you feel more productive and accomplished. Research studies have also shown that lion's mane is neuroprotective, giving you peace of mind as you power through your day. Try Lion's Mane and experience the mental clarity and productivity boost you've been missing.